Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay, we will get started. I actually welcome everybody to join this session again. And I saw some people posting the question regarding the indentation of the Python language. So right here, I would like to show some demo. And let me try. First, I would like to bring up the Python idle again. To bring up the Python idle and also the command line for Windows. Actually, you can find the destination directly, and then you use left shift and right mouse key, and then open command line. Okay, and on Tuesday, I show you how to create a Python file from the interpreter and also idle, but I forget to talk about how to create a file from command line of the Windows DOS shell. And because Windows DOS shell is also a interpreter itself. So right here, I'm going to show you. First, you can do copy conc and then say ex3.py. So what this means is actually copy from console to the file example3.py. So what it will happen is when you hit return, you will go into the line below this command prompt line. So what you should do is say write define main and then column and then say print hello world. By doing this, actually, it is legal, but you don't need to worry about the indentation problem. This is one way of get around it. And you hit return, and then you just hit return again and type main. You need to reserve some empty line so that you won't be counted as part of a previous function definition. And you hit return. And once you are done, you hit Control Z, and then hit return. So the file has been copied. Once it is copied, then you type ex3.py. Now ex3.py will become such a file. Then let's go back to the window mode. Right here, as you can see right here, it has the Windows3.py. Then you edit with idle. So you will come out with this. Now I hit return, I hit run and then run module. Okay, it complained. Let me check. Hit a return. Okay, let me put it back and then let's try again. Okay, it found an end of line or something. Let me edit it. It is because the window line is different from the environment that allowed by idle. Let me try again. Okay, something wrong. Let me try this command line. Let me try this command line. Actually, it's Python and then ex3.py. Something wrong with it. Let me try again. Okay, sorry. Let me type from here. Okay, try again. Okay. So look like I made some mistake in front of the command line. Let me try again. Copy com ex4.py define main. Control-Z. Okay. Actually, I just trying to show you how you can enter a file from the command line interpreter. So this show you that those itself is a interpreter, and also you can enter your Python file from command line. But this is not very efficient. So what we have some other method to do it. You can print up the Eclipse. An Eclipse file you can actually set up. In chapter 3, we have an installation video for the guidelines, and you can print it up. Actually, I'm going to show you how PyDev works. And in such environment, okay, in such environment, actually, let me create a new file in the package, and then create file, and I type in, let me see, test4.py, and then finish. So it is here. Let me type in diff main, and then that is. As you can see, the parentheses had already been generated automatically. Also for the column, I never hit it. I never type it at all. And when I hit return, it will automatically line up with right indentation. And then I will do like I say x a equals 4, and then for I in range 0 to 100. See, the parentheses already been generated. You don't need to worry about it in this editor. Sorry, I missed the base. And then you need to have print I. Let me use print I plus A. And then if I equals 10, then print I minus 4, something like this. As you can see, they are line, actually showing the line with the right indentation, and you just hit that. And if you move forward, if you want to come back to the line, it will use tab. You will tap to the last one, last indentation, and you can hit back, hit the backspace, hit the backspace, it will come back. And then you type main, okay. Okay, after that, this A is actually never been used. Let me put, so right here, he has a warning. You click it on unused variable A, and then you put A, okay, and then that's run as Python run, and then you will say test4.py, click OK. So right here, if you look at the console, it has all of the numbers, and then when I equals 10, we minus 4. Otherwise, we actually have I plus A will be plus 4. Okay. So this shows you how indentation is done in Eclipse. And you need to install first Java, and then you need to install Eclipse, and then finally you install the PyDev. So if you follow the installation guide in chapter 2, 3, 4, you will be able to actually install the Python correctly with such good indentation tool. Okay, and then we will finish this part for Python. Now we will be starting the session 2. In session 2, we will start chapter 2. And chapter 2 is a big chapter, so we will start it from the session 2.1. Excuse me. The programming language syntax. The first part would be BNF, regular expression, BNF, and the context-free grammar. So let's get started. The first lecture will be on overview. First, I'd like to introduce what is formal language. Formal language has two definitions. The first one, a language designed for use in situations in which natural language is unsuitable. So somewhere that natural language is not useful. Usually, natural language is not so strictly defined. So there are some, there might be some ambiguity. So, for example, in mathematics, logic, and computer programming, we need more concise or precise definition of the certain term. We need a formal language. The simple formula of such languages stand in precisely specified syntactic and semantic relations to one another. So basically, it is a language to describe certain formula, that's rules, and that will define the language. Second definition is a logistic system for which interpretations is provided. So it's a rule derivation based, distinguished from formal calculus, in which semantics enable it to be regarded as about some subject matter. So basically, this whole chapter, what we will be talking about would be rule, a set of rule, that's grammar, and then some input program written in certain language, and their relationship with machine, and that machine actually is represented by certain states and state transition and terminals. So we are talking about these three things and how these three things can work for a language, a programming language, and we use the help of formal language. So we are going to introduce formal language as the grammar and language description. So this chart is very important. This slide is very important. Basically, it actually talk about the overall view of a compiler environment and about the machine grammar language. Okay, first let's look at the relationship between input language and output language. These two are programming language. They are informal language. So they are usually not as strictly defined as the formal language. So actually, usually it's like C, Python, or it could be Fortran or any language. And they are informal. That means that they have certain type definition, but usually it is not 100%. And I use the word informal to compare to the formal language we are going to talk about. But usually you have a C language like this as the input, and the compiler will do is to generate the target code, machine code, assembly bytecode, or object code. And for C language, for a intermediate form, or for bytecode for the Java virtual machine, something like that. But both sides are informal. But this kind of informal language will be verified by some state machine. And that state machine is generated from a set of grammar. And this set of grammar actually is in formal language, usually is BNF, regular expression, and maybe context-free grammar. And then we use those kind of grammar, could be regular grammar or could be context-free grammar, to generate finite state machine or deterministic finite state machine. And then use that state machine with the proper input program, we generate certain validated tokens. That's for regular grammar or regular expression for token. Or we generate a syntax tree. And the syntax tree, which is proper declaration, then it will become something useful to generate the machine code. And this tree, the abstract syntax tree, decorated syntax tree, the grammar, the context-free grammar, and state machine, these three are all defined formally, and actually they have strict definition. And the part we talk about right here, the grammar, will form a formal language. And formal language will be generated by this, and we use that to define the programming language and also to design the whole compiler. So this is what we are going to learn in chapter 2, 3, 4 in week 1, 2, and 3. And so that's why this chart is very important. Right here, I would like to talk about the hierarchy of grammars. Chomsky defined 4 types of grammars in the hierarchy, of which the regular grammar was classified as the most restricted. So the expression power of regular grammar is the weakest. And the recursively enumerable language grammar is the most powerful, most expressive grammar, and then context sensitive, and then context free grammar. And in this chapter 2, 3, 4, or week 2, week 1, week 2, week 3, we primarily on regular grammar and context free grammar. Okay. Hierarchy of grammar. A context-free grammar is a grammar where left side of every production rule is a non-terminal. It's a non-terminal. And the right-hand side is a combination of terminals and the non-terminals, or the empty string. So this is what defines the context-free grammar. And because its left-hand side is non-terminal, and it only has one non-terminal for context-free grammar, it is called context-free because the left-hand side has only one non-terminal, so it's context-free, not much context. And this is wider class of grammar that's wider than the regular grammar. We will also introduce regular grammar later, and this definition we will show you later as well in more detail. But remember, the main topic in this chapter will be the context-free grammar. But it is important to know that every regular grammar is a context-free because it is a subset of it. Chomsky described the context-free grammar as phrase structure grammar, while this formalism was originally developed by studying linguistics and natural language. Actually, most of the terms that we learn from this chapter 2, 3, 4 are originated from linguistics and natural language. It has had a far greater impact on the development of programming languages through the field of lexical analysis. So we will see this later. Right here, I'm going to talk about the syntax of Arabic numerals. And actually right here, we are going to introduce the idea of regular language and the regular expression. So right here, we introduce a regular language. Sorry. Right here, we introduce the regular language. Regular language is a language over an alphabet, sigma. And alphabet sigma would be right here. This is one example. 0 to 9 for the digit. It's one that contains either single string of length 0 or 1, of which can be obtained by using the operation of union, concatenation, and Kleene star. Union is right here. If we have a set L as a language has a pattern of 1, 0, language 2 have 0, 1, 1, and 1, 1, and the union will be this. This is simple, the union of sets. Concatenation is to connect them together, so that's also simple. And then Kleene star would be used for repetition, either repeat for 0 time or 1 time. So the repetition of the language 1 would be no repetition, repeat for once, twice, or 3 times, or many, many times. So these 3 are for the formal language definition. And let's move back to the content-free grammar. Right here, it said that it is a terminal, non-terminal, or empty string. So let's look at the main difference for content-free grammar and the regular grammar is the non-terminal part. The left-hand side can always be non-terminal, but right-hand side, content-free grammar have the terminal and non-terminal or empty string. But for regular language, you actually has the empty string or repeat many times or concatenation or union. But there is no such thing as too many the recursive pattern. And the main difference is, for example, if we look at here for the regular language, we have a non-terminal here, but the non-terminal will not happen on the left-hand side at the same time with another with itself. It will not have the recursive pattern for regular language, but content-free language will have the recursive pattern. So that's the main difference. And right here, as you can see, let me explain this. We have a natural number. The natural number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to infinity, okay? And anyway, it will not have a leading 0 because 0 is not a natural number. So the first digit must be 1 to 9. And it can have more digit or no more or just 1 digit. So this digit will be repeated once, none or many times. So this digit will be 0 to 9. So the leading digit will be 1 to 9, and the repeated digit will be 0 to 9, but it will repeat 0 times or infinite number of times. And this will be the definition for the natural number. We have the leading non-zero digit and maybe 0 digit or 1 digit trailing it. So that's will form the whole set of the natural number. And that definition of natural number is the natural number as a regular language. And for these 3 rules, we have a natural number to get started for the passing or the initial state. That we call it as the starting symbol. And we will talk about the starting symbol later. So similar syntax rules, semantic interpretation can be divided for rational number, limited precision real number, arithmetics, assignments, control flow, declaration, and indeed all of the programming languages. So all the programming language will have formal definition by using this. But sometimes, because of the implementation, the programming language may not follow the language grammar all the time, because sometimes they have some exceptions, and that would actually violate their own rule. Just like any program, there might be some exception or special case the programmer would set up for the purpose of convenience. Here we have the definition for content-free language. Given a content-free grammar, this is grammar, and this has 4 different sets. The first set is V for vertex. So it's some sort of a node in a tree. Or you can consider as a terminal or non-terminal. Okay, but if it is being parsed, it will become a tree component. So that's why I use the term vertex or vertex. Okay, and then sigma is a simple set, the alphabet. Okay, so that's the alphabet set. R is for rule, and here we use R because it is recursive for content-free language. And sometimes you will see a P, that's production rule. So regular language will use P sometimes. S is the starting state or the starting non-terminal. And G is the set that actually defined by this that become a grammar. So G is actually like this. These 3 rules will be one G, one set of G, 3 rule, and the vertex, and the alphabet, and the rule. But this one actually is non-recursive. This will become a set of G. And the language generated by this grammar is called a context-free grammar, a context-free language, I'm sorry. So that it actually used starting from the starting state to generate all of the legal words for all of the words, and the combination of those words will become a language as long as it follows this G grammar. Language L is the context-free if there is a context-free grammar G such that L is generated from G. So L is a language generated from G. As I mentioned, any programming language, sometimes they will have exceptions. So here is a formal definition of the language. And V is the digit, non-digit, non-zero digit, or natural numbers, the terminals. Sigma is the alphabet, the set of alphabet. R is the collection of rules. So expression, grammar, and language. Expression is a special pattern for the token of a language. Grammar is a set of rules. Language is all the combination, all the composition of simple sequence generated by grammar. So all of the composition of simple sequence that follow a certain set of rules is called a language. There are 3 ways of specifying regular language. So regular language is some sort of a regular patterns or regular input or regular programs, something like this, or regular token string, whatever. This can be described by regular expression or generated by regular grammar, and regular grammar and regular expression can generate a finite state machine, deterministic or non-deterministically, and these 2 state machines can be used to verify a certain input pattern or certain regular language pattern or certain regular expression. And actually, usually in program, we are using this state machine, not using these are more like a grammar rule or something of some kind of pattern. But in real program, you need to implement the state machine. And right here, I show you the Yacc and Yacc. And these are widely used for compiler design. Actually, some people call it compiler. And actually, you may have some program and that need to be compiled and generate the output. And the grammar rule, if we look at the pattern for the tokens, you can use the regular expression to define it, and then you write it down into a file called .dex, and then that .dex will be fed into Yacc or flex. Flex is one implementation of Yacc, or the newer version of Yacc. And then the flex will generate a program called name.dex.c. Actually, it's a C file or C program. And so the input is a regular expression definition, and the output will be a C function or C program. And that C function or C program will put into the compiler. So your program input is processed by that YYLex function and then generate a token string. And the token string contain the different symbols. And the token string, I already talked about it in session 1. That is a collection of the symbols in your program. And we showed up in chapter 1. And then you can also define a content-free, the syntax or the content-free grammar into a certain file called .y, and that .y file being fed into Python. Python is also a implementation of Yacc. Yacc is yet another compiler, and that's called Yacc. Yacc is not here, okay. But the newer version is called Python, and then use the Python, you actually generate another C file called name.tab.c, and in that file you have a YY pass. So YY pass is right here, and the token being passed by YY pass will generate a certain syntax tree or the content-free graph or tree, and then that will be used to generate the intermediate form and the target code. So anyway, what I try to show right here is that you use a regular expression definition and also a syntactic spec, and then you use some program that can generate the compiler front end by itself, and then that compiler front end itself accept the program and generate a target program. And this actually, let me move back. Okay, sorry. Let me move back to the page. Show all slides. Let's move back to here. So that actually is one implementation of this. And that regular expression or the content-free grammar definition in the Y file actually is for the grammar. The YY Lex and YY pass are actually for this, the state machine and the tree generation. Let's go back. And as you can see, this YY pass and YY Lex are the state machine and the generation of the syntax tree. And the grammar part you specify in regular expression and .y file. So the whole chapter 2, 3, 4 are trying to tell you that green slice, and eventually you need to learn how to construct the compiler front end actually just like in such a environment. That's a goal we try to achieve. So why are we studying these? Formally define a language using formal grammar, avoidance of ambiguity, utilize a tool for syntax design in general programming, regular expression, that's Yacc. Design a compiler. I think this is too tough, but right now we are trying to give you an introduction of how to construct a compiler. And this is used for software development, including development tool, EDA, and system automation. And this is where the jobs are. So that's why this is so important. Then the objective, learning regular expression, pattern matching, content-free grammar, flags, syntax analysis, Python, and integration of all. We try our best, but our time is limited. But definitely, I want everybody to try hard and see how far can we go. But in this session, we will be focused on regular expression and content-free grammar up to here, and the rest of them will be the next week's main topic for week 2. So today we focus on regular expression and content-free grammar, and we especially will spend a lot of time on regular expression because not all of us will be developing compiler, but I believe a lot of people will be using regular expression quite often, and it is very convenient for a lot of situations. So now let's move on to regular expression and Baker's normal form. So sometimes this Baker's normal form is also called Baker's normal form. So, but both of them showed as BNF, and BNF sometimes is also another name for content-free grammar. So don't feel surprised that we have a new term. So right here actually is regular expression and content-free grammar. Excuse me for some water. And before we begin the discussion for regular expression, we are going to talk about finite automata 3-in-1, RGM. Okay, R is for rule, G for grammar. I'm sorry, R is for regular expression, G for grammar, and M for machine or state. Okay, so regular expression is defined like this. We will discuss what this means later. And regular grammar is something like this, a set of rules. And finite automata is like this. And these three are equivalent. And you can convert from regular expression to regular grammar, or you can convert from regular expression to the machine, or you can convert the machine to grammar. These three are equivalent. And I believe that is also echoing what we discussed right here. These three actually can be converted from one to the other. And then let's go back right here. Okay, a formal definition of regular grammars. A regular grammar is a mathematical object G with 4 components, N, sigma, P, and S. And right here, this is N. N is non-terminal. So the only difference, so as we say, the content-free grammar has the vertex, and vertex can be terminal or non-terminal. And the only difference right here for regular grammar is it's a set of non-empty finite set of non-terminal symbols. And sigma is for the terminal symbols, alphabet. The reason why they use sigma is because sigma is the Greek letter S, so it's actually for symbol. And P is for production rules, and S for starting symbols. And let's look at P. P is a set of grammar rules. Each of one has the following form. There is a concatenation, there is an alphabet, and day is an empty string. That's it. So that's why we say the P is a set of rule. But in content-free grammar, we use the letter R because it can be recursive. But in regular grammar, cannot be recursive. So regular expression is one of the following: a character, empty string, and concatenated two regular expression, or the OR condition with vertical bar, or you have a clean star. So this is union, or this is union, this is concatenation, this is clean star, and these are the three rules we talk about in the Arabic numbers, right? You have concatenation, you have the union, you have the clean star, and then the basic two things in the alphabet is a character or a empty string epsilon. And epsilon actually is the letter E in Greek. So Becker's norm form for numbers. As I mentioned, Becker's norm form is equivalent to content-free grammar. So this actually is a graphical representation for the numbers. And we actually right here, we have if you have a number, it may have fractional part. Anything in the fractional part is behind the decimal point. So let's look at the whole number part. The whole number part may have a sign. You either is positive, no sign, or negative, has a sign. And then you are here. If it is a 0, you go just 1 0 and come to the decimal point. If the leading is not 0, so right here we have the natural number combination. You have the leading 1 to 9 and the trailing 0 or more times of the digit. So this is the natural number combination right here. So you just get 1 to 9, one of them, and then repeat many times here, and then you finish. That's the natural number. You have 0 or natural number. So these are the positive whole numbers right here, and with sign. Positive whole number with sign or without sign become all the integers. And if it is integer, you bypass. If it is not integer, you have fractional part. You come to this decimal point and repeat for many times. And if it is not in scientific representation, you finish and get out. Or you add the exponent here. The exponent can be represented in lowercase e or uppercase e. And then you can have plus or minus sign before the exponent. And the exponent just has number of digits. But it can be 0 or many different several times of the digit repeated. You know, right here actually has some issue with this, because this digit actually, if you have put 3 0 there, whether it is accepted or not, is doubtful. So actually you can, if you don't like this, you can move this whole number section right here to here. Actually, it is also okay. Okay, but this is quite a good definition for numbers, but I just try to explain it. Okay, but you know, any design you can always criticize that, so we don't want to go into that. And this is quite a good definition. And that chart actually, you can actually use this grammar to represent it. A number can be integer or real. And integer or real actually is this whole number or integer part. Bypass will be integer. No bypass, it will be real number. And integer is like this, we talked about it already. And this integer and natural number, the only difference is this one can have the leading 0. And real number is like this, we explained in the chart already. And you can check this decimal definition as well. And exponent, we explained it in the graph already. So we will move on. And we finish the definition for the number. But right here is quite simple. We in the real program will not be something like this. And the digit is defined like this in graphical representation. And this actually combined with the parentheses and the operators will become an expression. And expression put in here will become a factor. And the factor right here with the time division will become a term. And a term with plus sign, minus sign will become a expression. So that is the top level definition of the expression. And it is recursive because the expression can be put here again. Now, we are going to move on to the regular expression, and we will play very heavily on regular expression because it's quite useful. A regular expression describes a pattern of text. So it's actually is using the regular expression to define a term, and regular expression is a definition for certain regular grammar. And so it can use to test whether a string match the regular expression pattern or not. Can use the regex to search to find or replace character in a string. It is a very powerful but tough to read format for regular expression. But right here, I'm going to try to demystify this regular expression. And regular expression occurs in many places. Text editor for find and replace, and in language like Java, JavaScript, and in Unix shell command, grep, seed, or find. So this is quite useful. And right here we have the regular expression for a user ID or a email. So let's look at this regular expression. And the detailed definition for all of these will be explained later, but right here, let me just try to decode it for. Sorry, the cell phone keep complaining. Let me turn it off. Okay, the dot, anything behind that is the qualifier. And right here, we have the lowercase letter or uppercase letter repeat 2 or 3 letters. So it will be .com, .net, .tv. So this part is the this qualifier for .com part. And before that, we have 2 parts, S sign, before S sign and after S sign. After S sign, it will be domain name, and the domain name has can be any letter, leading letters, or any symbol, or dash, and it will be repeated once or more time, and that's the definition for domain name. And then the username is leading letter with any symbols, I'm sorry, the special character dot, underline, percentage, and dash. And these actually can be any of these and then repeat once or more time. So that becomes your username. And I'm sorry, right here actually is a dot, it's not a wildcard dot. So we'll explain this later. But anyway, this is the definition for regular expression used in Ruby. So we will explain this later. Right here, we have a summary for the regular expression. And the important part is cap for the start of the line. And this backslash angle bracket, and this backslash right-hand side angle bracket is for the start and the end of the word. These are important. And character with \s for white space, \d for digit, \w for word, and \o for octal character, \x, hh for hexadecimal characters, \u for Unicode, and the capital then is the negation. So \s is white space, capital S is the negation, not the white space. So these are important, but we will explain this later as well. And right here are the sample patterns used, and we will explain this later. And quantifier, star is the clean star, so it will be 0 or more time. And plus sign is 1 or more time. Question mark is 0 or 1 time. And if you use the left brace and right brace with one number, that means that will repeat for 3 times. And 3 with comma would be from 3 and more time. 3, 5 would be 3, 4, or 5, from 3 to 5 times. And for the range, it is a set. It's something acceptable. Say A-Q is for letter from A to Q. Capital A to Q is uppercase letter from A to Q. And A, B, C in bracket, that will means either A or B or C. We will discuss this later in more detail. And regular expression can be used in text editor. We will also show some example. Now let's move on to lecture B2. Syntax of regular expressions. And regular expression is widely used, and Perl is the language that play. It's a scripting language. It used the regular expression quite heavily. Perl was a horrible flawed language, but it is widely used anyway, and very useful scripting language based on Unix shell scripting and C language that help lead to many other better languages. PHP, Python, Ruby, and Lua, all of them are the descendant of the Perl. And as you can see, all of these languages are starting with P or R, mostly, and R languages. So you have a lot of PR language. I all call these as Python language families, and most of them are scripting language, including Python, or interpreter-based. Perl was excellent for text file string processing because it builds regular expressions directly into a language as a first-class data type, and JavaScript take over such regular expression quite wisely. Now we are going to discuss the regular expression in JavaScript language. JavaScript language methods. These 4 methods are commonly used. Even Java have these different methods. So you can have a string and you try to match whether it's matching a regular expression or not. You will return the first match for this string against the given regular expression. If you have /g used, you will return all the matches. So then later you will see what is the regular expression definition in JavaScript. And this is used to, you have a string that match something, you will return a string or an array of string that all matches that pattern. And you can also have a string and then replace some part of it with certain text. And you need to match the first occurrence of such regular expression, and that matching part will be replaced by text. If you have the global /g flag, then you will replace all the occurrence. And this we will provide example later. And search the same thing, you will find the index for the first occurrence. and that split with delimiter, and that actually sometimes it's space. It's just break down a string into an array of strings for a given regular expression as the delimiter, and that will return an array of tokens. And this is quite useful. For example, like we have a programming language and you put it into a file, and we would like to separate all of the symbols by space or white space later, and you can just put the whole file in one string, and then you actually use that split with all of the white space letters /\s. Then you can get rid of all of the white space letters, and all of the legal symbols will be put into an array of strings or tokens. So right now, let's begin the definition for regular expressions in JavaScript. In JavaScript, you have the slash, pattern, slash. Some language just use double quote. So there's nothing wrong here. That's used for JavaScript only. The simplest regular expression simply match a given string. So if we have a regular expression containing, if we try to find a regular expression, try a string that match the pattern ABC. Actually, this matching, this one matching, and this one actually match. This one match. But if it is case insensitive, this is not matching. Something with space is not matching. Something out of order is not matching. Something like that. And wildcard and the anchors. A dot is a wildcard that represents any character. Remember, here is any character. Character means the letters in ASCII code character set. It is not letters, except the / and the new line mark. Okay, so right here, if we have dot O O dot Y, the dot means can be any letters, any digit. So this DOOCY, Goofy, Loopy, they all match this pattern. And if you want to specify a dot, not a wildcard dot, you need to use \D if it is inside this regular expression slashes. Cap means the beginning of a line. Cache sign mark the end. So right here, match lines that consist entirely of if. So this is starting of the line, ending with of the line, and the whole line only have one if. We are trying to find those lines with such expression. And / left angle bracket demands the pattern in the beginning of a word. Right angle bracket is the end of the word. So something like this means any line that contains the word for. For example, we try to find a for loop, and this will show you where the for loop is. String match. You try to match the string. If the string fit the pattern, you'll return the matching text. Else, you will return null. And some language, it can be a Boolean text. So actually, sometimes this match is returning string, sometimes it's returning Boolean value, true or false. But remember, this all depends on the language. So for JavaScript case, actually you can use this as the test condition for the if statement. And these are called flags. The regular expression flag. With G, that means the searching for global match. For example, the string Obama dot match, and then this slash means the regular expression inside. So regular expression is single wildcard dot and A. That means any letter trailed by an A. That is the pattern. So BA, MA, both matches. So this will return this array. And I is case insensitive. So if the pattern is capital M-A-R-T-Y, this Marty, case insensitive can be this or this. So actually in this case, that will return whether this name that match is matching or not. So it actually depends on what you would like to return. And string replace, you put a regular expression right here. And if any part of the string match the regular expression, it will be replaced by text. But remember, it all need to depends on the flag as well. So if we have the pattern, regular expression pattern, backslash right here, and you don't have the flag, that's the default case. The default case will only replace the first occurrence. And if you have G, the global flag, that will return this. And remember, this is for JavaScript. For Java, it's not slash, it's double quote. That's different. And return the modified string as the default. For default, must be distorted. So actually, this replaced by this, you can assign to a certain string, or you can assign to itself that become an update statement. This is for string replacement. And special character, vertical bar means or. So right here, this pattern is ABC or DEF or G. So any line that match ABC, DEF, or G will be returned. And then precedence, if you have parentheses, that would be, this one would be start of the line. This one will be start of line with subject or date. And this one is start of line, subject, or date. So these two are different. These two are different. And there's no end. Why? Because N, you have vertical bar as or, but why no N sign? Because N is just concatenation, so you don't need that. And two parentheses is for grouping. So right here, you have the slash Homer vertical bar March. So this one is either, and this is the end, and a space with Simpson. So right here, it can be Homer or March Simpson. So this one is or, and this group up for these words or these words. And backslash is for the starting of an escape sequence. Some of the special characters have special meaning, as we said, parentheses or brackets or dollar sign or slash, backslash, or star or cap or plus or question. All of these have special meaning in regular expression. Just like your string in Java or some language, you need an escape sequence. And in regular expression, the escape sequence is backslash. So right here, backslash dot means the dot sign. And then double backslash n means a backslash n. So this one is a dot sign, some period, and then change line. Quantifiers You have star, plus, and question. Star means 0 or more occurrence. Plus means 1 or more occurrence. Question means 0 or 1 occurrence. And this is called the Kleene star. So I think this is quite easy. You can study for yourself. We will move on. More quantifier, you have minima number, maxima number separated by comma, and then brace. And this means like the occurrence between minimum and maximum. So right here we have A followed by B, C, and this B, C will happen 2 to 4 times. So you can be A, B, C, B, C, or A, B, C, B, C, B, C, or A, B, C, B, C, B, C, B, C. These 3 patterns are matching this. Min or max can be omitted to specify any number. So if max is omitted, that means 2 or more. And if min is missing, that means up to 6. If comma is missing, that means it's exactly 3 times. Now let's continue the syntax, the part 2. Character set, we have the bracket that group the character into a character set. So this will match any single character from the set. So this bracket with BCD means any of the BCD. So right here, BCD with bracket art means this can be Bart, cars, or Dart. So this actually is a OR set. OR set. Anything OR inside here is something like this, is equivalent to this. Inside bracket, most modifier keys act as normal character. So inside the bracket, you don't need the escape sequence. That's what it actually means. So right here is what with this 4 special character for 0 times or more times. So it's what something, what exclamation, this what what exclamation mark, or what question star exclamation mark. So we can try to create a letter graph A trailed by star a plus minus sign or no signs. So right here you can think about it, about a grade, and you can work out yourself. Later I'm going to show you how you can try your ideas. And then character range, you have the bracket with dash. This means from A to Z, lowercase letters. This one is A to Z. This is one set. A to Z, this is another set. 0 to 9, this is a third set. So actually it includes 3 sets. It's not concatenation inside this brackets. So you can look at this as parentheses and then bracket inside A to Z, and vertical bar, bracket A to Z, bracket, and then vertical bar, bracket 0 to 9 bracket, and then parentheses, something like that. This is equivalent to that, but this is a easier way to write it. And if you have the cap, this cap inside the bracket means negation. So this means all of the letters except these letters. And inside the character test, dash must be escaped. If you want a minus sign instead of this dash, you need to have an escape. So this one is what we have for the escape inside of character range. So right here, you can think about how to create a phone number, regular expression for phone numbers. The built-in character ranges. So you have /D, that means this. /S means this. all the white space letters. This one has a space here. It means the real space. And then \f for form fit, \n for new line, \r for carriage return, \t for tab, something like that. And w for this, w actually means all of the capital lowercase letters and the digit and underline. These are called the word letters. Why there's an underline and this letter and digit? These usually are the character set for what? For variable names. That's why you have this /w. And then the capital of them are used for negation. And \s for hexadecimal. And \u for Unicode. So right here we have a character one more time, space one more time, and character one more time. This means what? Two words separated by a space. So usually this is used for the name checking, first name, space, and then last name, something like that. Now this is the phrase. We have pattern G. Your regular expression is inside this slash. And then you have G for global. Now match and replace all the occurrence. I, case insensitive. M, multiple line. And Y for sticky. And you can use them in combination. And this G and I means global and in case insensitive. So this will be what? That will be matching any of these. So actually this is what? All the combinations of these three letters in upper and lower case. So you can use that to generate this. And it's easy for, you just use some sort of loop can generate this. Back reference, we use this as a capture. If you have the \1 or \0, this one is used for the capture. The capture domain is parentheses. As we mentioned, parentheses is used for grouping a certain letter or patterns. But with \0 or 1, we try to capture or replace a certain pattern inside there. So this becomes a domain for you to do matching or replacement. So \1 means the first capture of this. So this one actually means what? This means that there is any letters, only one letter, but that's any letter. But if you don't have parentheses, then there's any letter and A. There's no capture. But if because you have this parentheses, so inside here is the domain that you try to capture, and there's only one letter. And the letter is the in the catch domain. You catch the first catch and put it here. So if here you have lowercase a followed by a uppercase a, that lowercase a will be captured and put over here. So that will be lowercase a, uppercase a, and lowercase a. So what this really means is what? Is any character and then followed by a capital A, and that later put here again. Okay, and here are some variation. Right, this one is any captured pattern B, but only preceded by A. This is what this really means. So actually, this means like you capture pattern B, and you follow by A. And if it's the exclamation mark, that means that it is not preceded by A, so no A before it. And that is back reference. This one is replacing the back reference. The difference between these is this one is capture and repeated. And this one is talking about capture them and replace it. When you want to replace it, you use a $ number. So right here we have a pattern: first name, comma, space, last name. But remember that we don't have the parentheses before. Now we do have. When we have the parentheses, it creates a capture range or capture domain. So we have a name, and then that name is this 13 Taylor with some space and comma there. And then this name will be captured by first one trailed by comma. That will be this word. But this word is captured into $1. And the second capture is put into $2. So actually this name is replaced by this Tyler, I'm sorry, and then 13. So it becomes this after this replacement. So you can work on this exercise. Again, I will show you how to do such exercise later. And regular expression object. In many languages, including JavaScript and Java, you have the regular expression, and you create a regular expression object, and those objects will have a lot of different methods to support it. That's the advantage of using the regular expression object. So in JavaScript, if you have such regular expression, and then followed by G and I, this is equivalent to this. So this actually is A, B plus C. And then you match globally, case insensitive. It will be something like this. And you can work on these two different examples. Working with regular expression, in regular expression literal, / must be escaped. So if you need to define a HTTP and for a for web page or a website as access, right here you have this bracket and question mark. That means this S will be repeated 0 times or 1 time. So this one actually is a protocol specifier for secure or non-secure. Either if it's HTTP or HTTPS will be written in this format. So this is secure or non-secure HTTP protocol, followed by comma, and then / because the slash need the backslash escape. And then you will have a letter that would be 1 or more time. So that would be any of the letter or character or number or the underline. And then that would become your domain name, followed by dot. And this dot is escaped as well and come. So this is some name, one string, followed by a .com. Okay. But if you want to put into the regular expression, then it's more complicated. Even this / for W need to be escaped. That's what it is. And this one, this dot, it need to be escaped as well. Okay. And excuse me. And this don't. So your your slash is okay, but backslash need to be escaped. That's the rule for the regular expression object. Okay. And regular expression can be used in editor and tools. We will show this later. And in Linux Max tool that has the support right here, you can try out this if you have Linux or Max command line. We will stop right here. We will come back to this context-free grammar later. Let me show you some example. Let me check right now any questions so far. Okay, I'm the only person right here. It's okay. Everybody will watch the recorded session. Let me check right here. I'm going to bring up not this one. I have another one. Right, this one. Let me bring up this. Okay. I need a file. I need a text file. And right here. Let me put my text file right here. And let me align this. Okay, right here is a website called regexr.com, regularexpression.com, and we have such a website. And when you come to this website, it already has such setting. It has a text file, and it has some regular expression right here, and it is in the JavaScript format. Let me do this. Let me remove this A to G part. So what this is any character, uppercase, lowercase, or number, but no dot, no on all these special characters. Okay. And including underline is how it is matched. Okay. So now let's do this. Let me copy this over. That's one or two characters. One or two characters. Let me put it here. One or two characters. So right here, as you can see, it's been breakdown. Let me zoom. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me zoom it. It's breakdown into one or two characters. Okay. Now let me try 1 to 4 characters. Actually, right here we have some problem. Okay, you cannot have space in there. Okay. Now, if we try something like 14, okay, I will show you those characters has 14 characters, and that's what it is. Now, what we want to do is, let me print up my directory. Now I have a Java file. Okay, I'm trying to bring up my Java file with the brackets, and right here I'm going to copy my Java file over, and I will paste over here. Okay. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm trying to find all of the array definition. So right here, I'm going to copy this pattern over here. This means what? This means the left bracket happen once, and then followed by right bracket and once. And this will be, if we look at it, and let's go. There are three. Let's look at it. Here is one definition. Here are two definitions. Actually, this is a 2D array. And if you actually, sometimes they are spaced between the bracket, you can put down this. You can put down this white space later and 0 or more time. It's the same, but it will allow the multiple space. And you can also check these different things. Okay, up to here, I show you this regularexpression.com. Now I'm going to bring up my Eclipse. I'll bring up my Eclipse. And my Eclipse is set to PyDev. It's like Python environment. Now I need to change environment. I changed my workspace to Java development workspace. And let me bring up this for Java. Okay, right here, I have written down a Java program. It's called array expression. And let me bring up this is array expression. What this is used for is like I can actually do searching. I'm sorry, this file. I can do find and replacement. Okay, now I copy this whole thing over. And then I paste here. And I start to find. So what this is to find any variable, any array with index variable. So some index or index variable will be fine. Right here, you see. But remember right here, this one with empty bracket will not be picked up. So it will be any array with index variable or index over there. The same pattern if we pick this one, say we pick this file. The same thing, it is picking up this. Sometimes this is used for regular expression. It will help you to search for your text faster. But remember, you need to check this regular expression. So if I unclick this, you should not found. So you need to click this and then do this. So you can write your own patterns. And if you want the numbers only, let me copy over. There is no number only in here because all variables. That's not number. And this numbers only right here. I have actually I have a single leading 0 or leading 1 to 9 and trading 0 to 9, 0 or more time. So this part is the natural number and this part is 0 and they separated by vertical bar. So this one actually, the right hand side part is a integer natural number. Left hand side is 0, and this whole thing is the whole integer, positive integers, and 0. And again, it has a leading left bracket and trailing right bracket. So this one become any number. It's not found in this route cipher.java, but let's look at this. Let's find this. Okay, in this one with all index numbers, it's working with this pattern. So I probably will email you for all of these files. And again, let me show you something. Let me show you something right here. Week 1. And right here in instruction material. Right here, let me see. Oh, I do not edit here. Okay, I will add this regular expression link over later. Now let's move on to, I also send you this or attach this on the Blackboard for you to practice also these two files. Okay, I'm going to do that later today. Now let's go back to our content-free grammar. The last part of today's session, and we will finish this up. Okay. Content-free grammar, the expressive power is similar to BNF. The notation for content-free grammar, CFG, is sometimes called Baker's norm form, and content-free grammar consists of a set of terminal, a set of non-terminal N, a set of a starting symbol S, a non-terminal, a set of production rules. So right here, we talked about this in the VG-RS format already. So anything that is generated by such grammar is called content-free language. And the only difference that we have for regular language and content-free language is the recursion. And we talk about it, you actually can check the rule. If there is a recursive pattern, you will know. And expressive grammar is the expression grammar is regular expression grammar with precedence and associativity. Regular expression work well for defining tokens. So usually it's used for tokens. And this line means can have the form or go to. So this expression can have such a form or go to this, and then you can use this to expand this. That's what the regular expression is used for. So let's click next one. BNF and extended BNF, content-free grammar, is also called as a Baker's norm form, BNF. Each dual in CFG is known as a production, and the symbol on the left is known as a variable or non-terminal. In the programming language, the terminals of the content-free grammar are the language token. One of the non-terminal, the one on the left side of the first production, is called the start symbol. Clean start is not used, and the other regular expression is not used. And this is for content-free grammar. And the reason why clean start is not used in content-free grammar is because it is replaced or been improved by what? By the recursion. And recursion can replace the clean start. And extended Baker's norm form And this one, actually, you have ID list like this, one or many similar to Kleene notation as I mentioned. So this is actually one ID, and then maybe it has the comma and ID, so it's ID, comma, ID, comma, ID, comma, ID, something like that, or one single ID. This is what this ID list is. And this one can be replaced by this. And here, apparently, you see the recursion. And in Becker's normal form, extended format, we allow this. But check the previous one. This one for BNF is none of this, but actually it doesn't matter that much. So they have the extended BNF, so it actually not that serious. So in BNF we use vertical bar, parentheses for grouping, and star, and the dual for recursion. And the operator like this can be is also equivalent to this, and sometimes written down as this. We need to get used to this. The derivations and the pass tree. A context-free grammar shows us how to generate a syntactically valid string of terminals. Begin with the star symbol. This meta symbol is double arrow. It's often pronounced, actually this is single arrow, but it's a double line. And double arrow means two sides, okay? This is a single arrow, this meta symbol is pronounced as derives. Derive is different from the go-to. Go-to is expansion, and derive means to find a new rule. It indicates that the right-hand side was obtained by using a production to replace some non-terminal in the left-hand side. A series of replacement operations that shows how to derive a string of terminals from the star symbol is called derivations. And right here, we give you an example of slope times x plus intercept. Sometimes we have the linear algebra. Algebra. In algebra 1 course, we have y equals mx plus b. B is the intercept. So this line, the intercept here has b. The slope of this line is m, and then mx plus b will be this blue line. So this is this, and using our expression definition, it can be passed as expression, operator, expression, and then expression, the last expression replaced by identifier, ID, and then operator replaced by plus sign, and then this actually is what is the right first passing. Right first passing. You pass the right part first. Okay, pass the right part first, and then you actually replace the expression with ID, and then star, and then eventually the last expression replaced by ID. You will have generated such a pass tree. So the pass tree you see would be like this. Right first would be this later, okay? But if you start from left, it'll be this. You have the expression, operator expression. It will be slope time x plus something. And the x plus something is actually one unit on the right. So apparently this tree is different from this tree. So if you pass from the right and pass from the left, you'll get different result. So our grammar is ambiguous. Then we need to modify the context-free grammar into this, so that the add operator and multiply operator, add operator means plus and minus, multiply operator means star and division, multiplication and division, and these two need to have precedence so that you can avoid the ambiguity. And with that, we will pass to this. So actually, star has higher priority, so we pass this first, and then we end up with such a pass tree. So this concludes my talk for today. And if you have any question, let me know. I'll try to upload those files I promised. Hope you get it and do some practice. Thank you. Bye.